Police raid at the Johannesburg Social Housing Company's offices. Law enforcement officers raided the entity's headquarters in Braamfontein on Monday as part of an investigation into alleged procurement irregularities. On the same day, the entity's old acting CEO, Themba Matibe, was arrested at his home after he was allegedly found in possession of a substantial amount of cash. He appeared in the Alexandra Magistrates Court on charges of money laundering today and was released on 50,000 rand bail. And in South Korea, the country's first lady has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for corruption. Kim Kyon-hee was arrested last August over a raft of charges including bribery, stock manipulation and political interference. Now, she was found guilty today of accepting lavish gifts from the Unification Church, but was also cleared on charges of stock manipulation and violating South Korea's campaign financing laws. Her sentencing comes just days after the former Prime Minister was handed a 23-year jail term for the insurrection case linked to the declaration of martial law. A partly cloudy Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with scattered afternoon showers expected. Joburg drops to an overnight low of 19 degrees, peaking at 28. Pretoria is at 20, maxing out at 30. Vereeniging drops to 17, reaching a high of 27. Monkey Ziko Ko Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Comfort ends where Marawa Sports Worldwide begins.
One of the football club owners, and he said to me, "Are you crazy to go to Robert?" I said, "Yeah, possibly, yes, that's true." So everyone is scared of coming here, man. But you know what?
Why would they be scared?
But someone like you has such an important role to play in football.
If it's shaking sport, we are already on it.
In the Observer, we are, of course, looking ahead to the World Cup this summer. Or, Mark Ogden, are we looking forward to a World Cup this summer? Paul Hayward in the Observer says a World Cup boycott has to be a live threat all the way up to next June. The creeping assertion that the US, with its high visa walls, militarised immigration policing and adventurism abroad, is no place for a football team or its fans to be.
Hashtag MSW. Strong opinions, strong sources, strong sport.
Right, in conversation with the CAF head of TV commercial as well as director communications like September.
I think sitting here today, I have a responsibility. There is a stereotype somehow that the Africans are a certain way. Even the African, he's been a president of CAF now for the last 5 years. He doesn't take a salary. CAF doesn't pay for his travel. CAF doesn't pay for his accommodation. FIFA doesn't pay his salary. FIFA doesn't pay for his accommodation. FIFA doesn't pay for his travel. He gave 150 million rands of his money to CAF. So who can buy him?
Hashtag MSW. No protection, no PR spin, just accountability.
Infantino has spent the last however long talking about how this is going to be the most successful World Cup ever, how it's going to generate so much money, it's going to generate the biggest crowds, etc., etc., etc. There are many things Infantino says and does that brings me great frustration and confusion.
Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live.
The last AFCON, by far the most successful AFCON in the history of AFCON.
Surpassing Cote d'Ivoire?
The numbers don't lie.
But from a tournament perspective?
On the field,
yeah.
Cote d'Ivoire 119 goals scored. This 121 goals scored. Africans in the diaspora, Mbappe, they come. Zidane, they come. Conde, they come. It's the first time they associate their brand with African football.
Monday to Friday from 1730 to 1900. Hashtag MSW.
It's all happening. It is a Wednesday tonight. We have from tennis to UEFA Champions League. There's Betway Premiership, you name it. We'll also take your calls. We interactive. It is Marawa Sports Worldwide. Proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go. The moment you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
Siyadumuza nje manje. Dagi msakaza ngibonga.
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
MSW. Why? It's multicast, Baba. You know the story.
When excuses run out.
Such behavior can only be rooted out by VAR, Rob.
The truth clocks in.
It's tough. It's tough.
Hashtag MSW.
It's tough. It's been tough for Jessica Pegula, reflecting on her victory over fellow American Amanda Anisimova after reaching the semi-finals of the Australian Open today.
Really happy with my performance today. I thought, from start to finish, there was a lot of momentum swings, but I thought I came out playing really well, came out serving really well, and was able to just hold on there in the second and get that break back and take it in two. So I think I showed some good mental resilience there kind of at the end, not to get frustrated. And then, just really happy with everything today.
Pegula also echoed Coco Gauff's concerns about the constant camera gaze at tennis tournaments.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the cameras. I saw that last night and I was like, geez, and it's the same thing when Arena lost the final. I was like, can you just let the girls have like a moment to themselves? And honestly, we started working on, we were talking about cameras years ago. I remember when Maddie Keys, her number one priority on council was like, we have to stop with these cameras. Like, this is crazy. And I think they ended up putting up signs just to so people knew there were cameras. But this year it feels even worse.
Well, Novak Djokovic himself is also back to Gauff over her concerns that players have very little privacy. I don't know what you feel about this after the cameras caught her smashing her racket following her Australian Open exit.
It's really hard for me to see the trend changing in the opposite direction, meaning we take out cameras. I mean, if you see it's only going to be as it is, or even more camera. I mean, I'm surprised that we don't have no cameras while we're taking shower. I mean, that's probably the next step. I'm against it. I mean, I think there should be always a limit and kind of a borderline where, okay, this is our space. But people, commercially, there's always a demand. How players warm up, what do they say when they speak to their coaches, and what's their cool down, and they want to see us arriving in the car and walking through corridors.
All right, from taking showers to possible cameras there. Hey, Djokovic. As I said, a big night for the UEFA Champions League, guys. It's gotten to that stage where we have to say goodbye to a couple of the teams. And who gets to be in the knockout phase? Who gets to play extra football? Well, for Newcastle United, the manager Eddie Howe says that a squad arrived safely in Paris despite a weather-related flight delay. Now, speaking ahead of tonight's Champions League tie against PSG, Howe explained that the team had been held on the tarmac due to high winds before eventually taking off. He also heaped praise, though, on the pilots for prioritizing safety and ensuring that the squad reached France without any issue.
Yeah, the journey over was fine. It was just the wait before. So we were on the tarmac ready to go, and just the winds were too high for us to take off. So the pilot looking after our safety first, and then just as we were probably about to call time on and possibly look at an alternative arrangement, he felt it was good to go, and he got us here safely.
Well, Howe also praised PSG's unique style of play, their manager's influence, and also smart signings, describing them as a very, very good football team with athletic technicality, as well as technically gifted players in every position. He also believes, though, that this will be the toughest game that Newcastle could face in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, I watched all of those games last year, and I thought they were hugely impressive. I think they're a team that we really admire with how they play, the manager's style, how he's coached the team, how he's evolved the team, how he's made some really smart signings to make them better. I think there's a lot to admire, especially their style, because I think they're quite unique with how they play. They don't tend to copy anybody. They're solely themselves. Very, very good football team. They've got athletic players in every position. They're technically very good. They're tactically interesting. So the ultimate test for me in Europe, this will be, I think, the hardest game that we could have played.
Well, on the flip side, the Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has urged fans to jump in this boat with the team as they chase success across 4 competitions. Arteta says that the Gunners will play the next 4 months with excitement, conviction and energy, insisting though that this is the only way to achieve their dreams.
That's why I encourage them to jump in this boat, because it's going to be fun. Because the excitement, that conviction, that energy, that will is the way you have to live when you want to achieve a dream, when you want to achieve something that you play for 10 months. Because out of that, a lot of incredible things are going to emerge, some of the things that we cannot even imagine. And for me, that's the only way to live it, because we're going to give absolutely everything. We're going to prepare in the best possible way. And the best chance to deliver what we want is putting all the energy and channeling the energy into that direction.
Come on, Arsenal fans, get on that boat, guys. Well, the coach also says that he's not feeling outside pressure at all, despite the hectic schedule. He insists that the months ahead are beautiful and will be lived with enjoyment, convinced that his players have given every reason to believe the outcome will be very positive.
No, it was because of the hectic schedule. So we played 4 away games in 4 different competitions, and it was a moment to pause and see who we are, what are we doing, and I said, okay, 4 months, how we want to actually live that. And it's just beautiful what is ahead. So we're going to live with a lot of enjoyment. I'm very convinced, because this team and this player have given us every reason to believe that the outcome is going to be really good.
Well, the Chelsea boss, Liam Rossini, has dismissed speculation over Cole Palmer's future, insisting that the forward is untouchable and also very happy at the club. Rossini described Palmer as an incredible player, says that rumours of unrest were unfounded.
And you would have seen the speculation regarding Cole Palmer. Is he untouchable? Is he happy?
Yes and yes. It's simple. Cole's an incredible player. Like, I have the guy sitting next to me, many players in the group. I'm not surprised at the timing. New manager comes in, all of a sudden there's people unsettled. It's not true. Cole is here, he's very happy, and I can't wait to see him back on the pitch. There's no reason for an assurance. It's so unrealistic. It's come from nowhere. There's nothing in it. There's no reason to have the conversation. That's where I'm at. Cole is very happy. I've had numerous conversations with him. Our thoughts on how we can make this team better, how he can improve, and how I can help him, because he loves being here and he wants to be a Chelsea player. You can't stop speculation, but some speculation is so far from the truth, there's no point having a discussion about it.
Well, the coach says that the club must compete for trophies every season, despite acknowledging the strengths of rivals in the Premier League.
No, I think for a club of Chelsea's stature, every year that goes by and you don't win a title or win silverware, you want to win in every year that you're competing in competitions. The difficulty for any club is there's a lot of very, very good teams who are competing. The aim for us long term and in the short term as well is to compete for trophies. Whether it's too long or not, that comes down to the team, that comes down to the coaching and the infrastructure of the club.
Well, he's also paid a glowing tribute to Antonio Conte, praising both his playing and managerial career.
Huge respect for him. Firstly, as a player, he's a magnificent footballer who then went on to have an incredible and still has an incredible career as a coach. I think his passion as a player transmits to passion in his teams, and obviously when I was younger watching Chelsea play in the manner that they did, defensively so strong, Hazard was incredible in those moments. And he's gone on to prove what an amazing manager he is, and he's won many titles, including an incredible title here last year.
Gary, down here please.
Well, I can tell you, though, that the clock is ticking. Hey, it's the transfer window. It is going to shut as far as the Premier Soccer League is concerned. Mtokozi Sidube is on standby.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Right, in conversation with the CAF head of TV commercial as well as director communications like September.
Mr. Motsepe will not lead CAF forever. Did they identify or pinpoint somebody who will succeed Mr. Motsepe? Does he himself, Mr. September, have any ambitions of becoming CAF president?
Is there a succession plan? Are you the successor to Patrice Motsepe?
Now we have to ask ourselves questions. What type of leader do we need going forward? Of course, his term ends in 2029, I think, right? I don't think anyone, Robert, should ever stand up and say, Ndikheteni.
Are you ready for that leadership?
For me right now, when I wake up in the morning, that is what keeps me awake at night. How can I ensure that Dr. Motsepe's leadership succeeds as it must.
I'll be standing by to be the next in line.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Oh man, are you next in line like September? I can tell you who's next in line. As I said, that clock is ticking. The phones are ringing. The PSL transfer window is about to slam shut tomorrow night. Well, I've been checking out a couple of clubs scrambling. Agents are kind of hustling. The deals are happening in the final moments as teams look to beef up their squads, though, for the battles that lie ahead. I don't know if any club has actually pulled off a masterstroke. I mean, who's taken a last-minute gamble? Which moves could reshape the rest of the season? And that is why we thought, you know what, let's bring in somebody who knows. He's got the sharpest eyes in South African football journalism. He's a multi-award winner himself, Far Post editor, Mthokozisi Dube. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Prerop, and good evening to the shareholders. It's been a while, eh?
Well, you've been rocking Morocco.
No.
Welcome back, I should be saying.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'm sure you've recovered from that, and it's back to the basics of domestic football on the one side. But, I mean, be honest with me. Before we talk about the nuts and bolts of this transfer window and it shutting tomorrow night, have you been excited? I mean, have you stood up and said, wow, what a transfer window. I'm so happy. Or what's your feeling?
For a January transfer window, I think there's been a lot of movement. I think Sundowns have done some really, really good business. I think the shocking one was the Saleng one. For me, I think it actually caught me off guard, just midway through the AFCON, boom, Saleng is a Sundowns player. So, yeah, Pirates as well, I think they've done some, fair business, bringing in the three players, Andre de Jong, Daniel Msendami, and Chabatsane, to replace Mbogazi. So, yeah, I think they've done fairly, for a January transfer window, I think they've done fairly well.
Where does that leave Mudau?
Mudau, it leaves him at Mamelodi Sundowns. He remains the Mamelodi Sundowns player. He's going to be there until the end of the season.
All right, so that's the final take, because I've been having so many people asking that question and saying that they get the lead that it's going to be happening in this January transfer. So the answer to that is a short no.
It's a short no.
I mean, this final stretch, as we look at the transfer window, and you're saying that a couple of teams have done good business. I mean, I saw Sundowns, they left it pretty late yesterday. It was almost a good result for Eric Tinkler. And then within a short space of time, it kind of looked like, an avalanche of goals and a dominance of Sundowns, but it had to take something really, really special. Do you believe now that they've got the balance? I think they're arriving in Kigali today, if they're not there already. But do you think they've got the balance?
Not really the balance. I don't think it's even a case of balance. I mean, Sundowns have a very good squad. I think they just need a coach that would be able to get the best out of the players that they have. Currently, when you look at how they've performed under Miguel Cardoso, you get the sense that they've regressed a bit. They've lost that, cutting edge. The game against Kukune United, the timing of the goals, I expected it to happen because Kukune played against Pirates and it was quite a taxing game, 90 minutes on Saturday, they were chasing, and so they were bound to sort of, towards the end of the game, lose a bit of steam, obviously because of how taxing that game was. But Sundowns have signed some really good players. Racino, top player. Nuno Santos as well. Both of them, getting on the score sheet yesterday. So they've signed really, really good players. I just think it's just about the coach getting, his combinations right and getting them, get that fear factor back. So yeah.
All right, talk about that fear factor. Let's not be fearful of heading off to an ad break. When we come back from the break, they will also take your reaction, any questions that you want to pose to Mthokozisi Dube with the transfer window, maybe your level of excitement or maybe even disappointment at how your club is out there shopping or maybe doesn't have the resources to shop wisely. 060-708-0484, 060-708-0484. That's the WhatsApp voice note number. Otherwise, give us a call directly, 011-888-947.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Hey, you. It's me, your potential. I'm that spark, that voice that screams you're meant for more. And right now, I'm hungry. Hungry for big things, for greatness, and not gonna lie, yeah, I'm hungry for Streetwise. So feed me, feed your potential. Just buy any participating Streetwise meal and stand to win your share of 5 million rand in fees for your education, plus 2.5 million in instant prizes. Only at KFC. It's finger-licking good. T's and C's apply.
Samsung Blue Tag sale is back at Hershey's. Get amazing deals on your favorite Samsung TVs, appliances, and more. Save a massive 2,100 Rand when you purchase a Samsung 65-inch UHD Smart TV for only 8,999 and get a free soundbar. These and other amazing Samsung deals available in-store or online at Hershey's.co.za. Hershey's, we will save you money.
You're not ordinary, right? So why not bet with the extraordinary? Bet on Lotto Star. Lotto Star offers world-renowned lotteries, quick games, real rush slot games, scratch card games, and live games. You could win payouts of up to 75 million Rand instantly. Bet now on lottostar.co.za. Your world of live games awaits. Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18. NRGP 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Supercharge your business productivity with Moloi Innovative Solutions. We bring the most highly customized and cost-effective IT infrastructure to your fingertips. Whether it's desktop and server support, cloud services or hardware, software and printer procurement, our dynamic team makes sure that you have the tech that resonates with you. Moloi Innovative Solutions. Experience at its best. Get to moloiis.co.za for more.
Attention pool owners, Chamberlain has the best deal ever. HDH 8 kilogram granular chlorine for 349 Rand. Yes, HDH 8 kilogram, only 349 Rand. Join us from the 5th of January to the 1st of February for Gauteng's best pool care deals. Hurry into your nearest Chamberlain today and get yours before they're gone. Limited stock, collection only, while the promotion lasts. Chamberlain, famous for hardware since 1903.
At Rocco Mamas, we ask the not normal questions like, would you rather have a laugh track play after everything you say? Or have dramatic music play every time you leave? And even not normaler questions like, would you rather have your smash burger and fries with chicken strips or smash burger and fries with the waffle and ice cream for just 129 Rand? Either way, the two-way treat from Rocco Mamas. We're not normal. T's and C's apply.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Right, in conversation with the CAF head of TV commercial as well as director communications like September, whether it's Algerian, Moroccan, and there's the Towel Brigade.
Sure.
There's ball boys. Well, supposed to be ball boys, but those are called ball men. Those are grown men that are fighting. The goalkeepers taking their towels away. That for me is what then allows other outside forces to paint the game negatively, and it works for them.
But Robert, you know, prejudice is something you cannot help. Not everyone in Ngandla wants you to be successful. And you might have achieved 9 out of 10, but the one that you missed, they are going to harp on it. Not everyone is happy with us. Is that behavior correct? And I know as we speak right now, the DC is sitting at CAF in Cairo. That kind of behavior in the quarterfinals was punished because we were at the stadium, we saw. And this means that we must put all the facts on the table.
#MSW. #MSW.
All right, all is hot right here on #MSW. It is a Wednesday today. It is soccer nights. As I said, plenty of football. 18 games taking place in the UEFA Champions League and obviously on the domestic front on the Betway Premiership. We'll have a chat in a second to figure out what's going on in this transfer window towards the Dube. But firstly, today, for your shot at winning a VIP experience at the FIFA World Cup Trophy Tour by Coca-Cola, 947 has asked you to send us all 4 secret codes. So congratulations, Braden Hey, Braden Govender. Thought we'd give you a shock there. You've won a VIP experience to the FIFA World Cup Trophy Tour by Coca-Cola on the 31st of January. Now, for another chance to win, stay locked to 947 all day tomorrow and listen out for the secret codes. T's and C's do apply.
Hey, good evening, Rob. Good evening to the Marawa Sports Worldwide family, and a great show as always with Chico Emden. Rob, it might be a transfer season. Yes, we'll hear from Joseph Dube and all the possible movements at the last day, but I'm smelling a team that is up for sale. I think you don't need to be an Einstein to read between the lines. I mean, the release of Sanele Pans at Stellis rings some bells. The release of Khiba to Skukune from Stellis. The selling of Traore to join Tanzanian team Simba SC. That tells a story. I'm just sensing that Stellis are up for sale come end of the season. Uchiko Emden, I'll stand to be corrected.
Yeah. Well, putting it right there, saying that Stellenbosch are going to be up for sale, and he gives them towards the Dube the reasons why. Can we put an argument against Uchiko Emden?
No, look, I think there's a new broom at Stellenbosch. With Steve Barker leaving, going to Simba, Kevin Hunt coming in, he's obviously said which players he wants to work with. He's comfortable working with. There's also players that are not comfortable working with him. So I think it's a case of the club, listening to the players say, okay, you can go. Tato Kiba, I'm told he was not happy. He asked to leave. Coincidentally, Kukune United were interested in him. And they had a player that Stellenbosch were interested in him, which is Wonderboy Makubu, was on loan at Makesi. Wonderboy has been on loan for several seasons and he wants a bit of stability. So it made sense to do a swap deal. So they did a swap deal which showed Tato Kiba moving the other direction. And then Sanele Barnes as well, another player that was not happy and obviously wanted to leave. And the coach now bringing in some new players and felt he's a player that they could let go. Richards Bay wanted him. They agreed on a permanent transfer for him. So he's going. And then Toure Long left. I mean, he didn't leave from Stellenbosch now. I mean, Toure left and went overseas. And when Steve Barker took over at Simba, he then brought him in, signed him. So I think the two transfers that Stellenbosch have outgoing that Stellenbosch have done, that would make you think, wow. Because, I mean, especially Kiba, 22 games, 2 goals, 1 assist for a midfielder, I think was surprising to see them let go of him.
You mentioned Wonderboy Makubu going to, the Stellenbosch. And I look at him, I look at his style of play. Is this the perfect system fit for him, though?
I'm not really sure how Kevin wants to play at Stellenbosch with the kind of players that he has, and how he's compared to how he's previously played, at his former club. But I think his versatility could actually, make him a player that would be important for Stellenbosch. He's able to play up top as your 9. He's also able to play as your 10. So I think that versatility could actually put him in good stead to become an important member of that team. Obviously, with midfielders like Sanele Barnes and Tato Kiba, leaving at this point, so he could actually become an important player for Kevin Hunt.
So you don't believe that Stellenbosch in any way, manner, form, shape, or any design will be sold? It's a team that kind of took a bit of a blip. Their coach of many years and many seasons has now left. There's a new man in charge. But you're saying that the structure, the team, and everything will remain solid and within the confines of the PSL?
100%, because I think with their model, they are constantly selling their players, and I think the challenge that they've had is that they don't really replace these players. So a coach like Steve Barker, who's been there for almost 7 years, would have felt that he needed a bit of stability. When when you're constantly selling, you're constantly rebuilding. And what's happening this season, where they found themselves at the bottom of the table, which is unusual for them, is bound to eventually happen, you know. But now the coming in of Kevin Hunt means sort of starting from, you know, scratch. There are players that he may not want to make use of in that team. So he obviously wants his own players, which is why they've actually brought in a couple of signings like Tsegofatso Mabasa. They've brought in Musa Lebusa. They've also brought in the left back from Sundowns. Why is his name running away from me? And I can see his face. You know, so they've brought in a couple of new signings just to strengthen the squad, you know, for the coach. So yeah, I think it's that change that has necessitated all those movements.
While you were talking about Tsegofatso Mabasa, this happened.
Evening, Tarop. I'm sure you watched the game with Sundowns Zolo, and you saw, I think they displayed what the quality side they are by playing a second team, if you can say that. And then they were able to keep the score 0-0 up until they tried and tested, came in second half, and they delivered for them the 3 points. So it goes back to what I said to you the other day, Pirates, for them to release Tsegofatso, I think it's a huge mistake for a team that has aspirations of chasing a league this season. So I don't know how are they going to do it, because if you can look at their strikers, they tried integrating Radio Pan into the team, but it hasn't worked out and he hasn't delivered. So Asaz Uguti, how are they going to get these strikers to get goals for them in order for them to truly challenge Sundowns for the league, Darop?
Well, he's saying that Pirates made a big mistake. So a mistake, let's say it is for Pirates, is a big gain for Gavin Hunt and Stellenbosch.
Very interesting, because I've actually asked this question several times to, you know, some people at Pirates, just to understand, but what is it that the coaches, because it's not just a Coach Wadu, even Jose Rivero, I think he used him sparingly. For the kind of finisher that he is and the quality that he has, it has never made sense for me. But the only maybe explanation, you know, is this is just my opinion. Maybe it's what he does when the team is out of possession. You know, his work rate. You know, I think modern football demands, you know, forwards that are also able to, you know, press from the top, try and win the ball from the top, you know, who run, you know. So maybe then that could be the issue. But when you talk about finishing, I think he's one of the best finishers in the Betway Premiership. I mean, his record at Orlando Pirates, I mean, speaks. His record in just the Betway Premiership. I mean, this is a man who scored 71 goals in the Betway Premiership in all competition. So his record is impeccable, but maybe there's just something that the coaches don't see. Hugo Bruce as well, he's had him, but never really gave him many more chances. So it gets me asking, what is it? So the only explanation is what I've said to you just now.
All right, a bit of breaking news as we watch Sky's breaking news, Sky Sports, as it's on right now. If you're a big Raheem Sterling fan, he's officially left Chelsea by mutual consent and agreement. So you'd remember that Raheem Sterling, Mthokozisi, I mean, since the 3.5 years at Chelsea, he's gone now. He's not played for the club since May 2024, and he has spent last season on loan at Arsenal. Obviously, you know, in terms of using him, how that went. And he initially joined on that £50 million deal from Manchester City in the summer of 2022. So he has a, you know, relatively young football player, extremely talented. I mean, he's got 81 caps for the national team. Had he played, I mean, this guy would be rocking 100 caps for England, but such is football. Here he is, gone.
Yeah, a bit of a tricky one. I think the last couple of seasons haven't gone very well for him. But I think the termination now, which I think he still probably has 1.5 seasons left on his contract, it could be just a moment for him to try and pick himself up and start afresh. You don't want to be where you're not wanted. So yeah, maybe
I think he needs a bit of love from a Jose Mourinho, somebody like that.
Absolutely, and he's a good player. I mean, we've seen what he did at Liverpool. We've seen what he did at Manchester City. He's got quality, and hopefully he could still produce that at the highest level.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. Khuluma noSibongeleni wamkhwani kaMgcawu eMathafeni. Mr. Marawa, I've been watching the Sekhukhune United since the season has resumed. I'm not happy with the approach that is used by coach Eric Tinkler. I don't know if he will apply it against the big guns only, because I saw his team against Pirates and I saw his team again yesterday against Sundowns. He seems to apply that low block system, of which I think it's not good. It's not good, Mr. Marawa. We know that system from coaches abaqhamuka Europe, so we don't expect a coach from South Africa to play that kind of system.
Bab Marawa, line ngoma mfethu ngohlongwane mina nganongoma. Can you please ask Mtho that Sekhukhune bosses are happy with Tinkler? Aye man, Sekhukhune have good players, quality players, but the coach, man, the approach is not on, man. I think they need to change him quickly, because City is there at the NFT because of that coach. So Tinkler, they must get rid of Tinkler, get the coach that is brave, not Tinkler. They need a coach there, Sekhukhune. They need a top coach there. I need a coach. I'm not happy with the approach of Tinkler in the big games. The approach is not on.
I find it very interesting. I mean, how do you respond to those? I had to play them back to back, just also looking at time and saying, two completely different callers who are calling about Sekhukhune, and they're not happy with Sekhukhune and also not happy with Tinkler.
Look, I think if you look at the last two games that Tinkler has played, he played against Orlando Pirates, who are, second placed, the informed team this season. Then comes a Sundowns. There is no way that he's going to go there and open up and play an attacking game when you've got these two games. So he's obviously looking and thinking, I need to manage my players very well. Try and maybe catch them on the break, and because Pirates, Sundowns have better quality than Sekhukhune have. If he tries to go there and play an open game, they'll finish him. But I think the most important thing is for him to be able to beat the other small teams. You expect him to have that consistency, and I don't think they've done badly in terms of those games that I'm talking about. Like the smaller games, and they are still sitting in 5th place. Out of 16 games, they've only lost 4. So I disagree with the two gentlemen. Yeah.
Well, maybe here's the biggest question of the transfer market. I don't know if you'll be able to answer.
Hi, Mr. Marawa and the team. My question to your guest is with regard to the coach. Do you think Sundowns will sign a new coach this season, or the current coach will complete the season, David Pargood?
Look, in terms of the coach, there is conversations within there's unhappiness generally, and there is conversations that could actually see him leave the club before the end of the season. But obviously, football is a results game. He's got to, convince them that he's the man, But as things stand right now, there is conversations that could see him, end up leaving the club before the end of the season.
You can't just tease us like that and then say goodbye and go and have your dinner. It doesn't work like that. What makes you say that, Mtoko?
Look, I think a couple of weeks ago I wrote a story that they, Sundowns were not happy with the coach. Management, had engagements with the coach regarding, the way the team plays. It's not so much the results, because Sundowns are at the top of the log. They are number 1 on the log. They are also number 1 in their CAF Champions League group. So it's not so much the result, but it's how they are playing. There's a sense that they've lost that cutting edge under Miguel Cardoso. So there is that conversation. So it's very much possible that he may not finish the season.
What about Flemingberg?
Look, I'm not too sure about Flemingberg, but I think it's just unfortunate what happened the other day. I'm not too sure about his position. Yeah.
All right. Any other question? I don't know. There's so much to talk about here as the transfer window, as I said, if you're joining us late, is shutting tomorrow night. Anything else very quickly, Mtogo, that we haven't touched on that you think is very, very important?
Yeah, look, I think we do know Jody Ashene, the Cape Town City young striker, 20-year-old, played at the World Cup, Under-20 World Cup, Under-20 AFCON. He's a player that Sundowns are looking to get, but it looks like it's long-term. They're not thinking now. So they're likely to finalize that signing and then loan him out like they did with Apelele Teto, who's at University of Pretoria. And then very interesting midfielder that's joined Marumo Gallants from Young Africans of Tanzania. Mohamed Doumbia, he's an Ivorian. I think he struggled a bit because you have players like Maxim Pianzengeli, you have players like Yaya Mudathir. So they've decided to loan him out, and he's actually at Marumo Gallants as we speak. TS Galaxy, there's the transfer ban, obviously. But there is a sense that they are pushing to get that cleared so that they can be able to replace someone like Damane. For the longest time, they've wanted Ishiane Sumauchi, who was playing for Singapore and Zimbabwe, and the national team. He was with the Warriors at the AFCON. So, yeah, we could still see, that move happening there at TS Galaxy.
All right, that's the latest information coming through. The Far Post editor, Mthokoze Sidube, as always, Baba, brilliant job. Follow him on social media platforms to get all the breaking news. Baba, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so after the break, though, we head off to Harare as we go worldwide. Find out why.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.
It's official. Auto in General covers the world's best drivers. We're proud to be an official tournament partner of Live Golf South Africa 2026, the first on African soil. Stand to win tickets to the event and your share of 100,000 Rand. Here's to a world-class tournament. And the insurer that never misses. Auto in General, never not there. Auto in General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP T's and C's online.
This new year, the leader in tech innovation, design and AI integration brings you the Samsung Blue Tag sale. Enter the new year with a Galaxy Tab A11 Plus 5G, now 4,999 Rand, save 1,000, and save 4,000 on the Galaxy Watch Ultra, now 8,999 Rand. Sale now on until 8 February. Available at Samsung stores online and participating retailers.
Hi, I'm in grade 6 at Crawford International, and I'm already building my future. At Crawford, we don't just learn, we prepare for the world ahead. By grade 10, I can choose from a range of subjects in any combination. With experienced teachers, amazing extracurriculars, and AI-driven support, I'm set up to excel in everything, from maths to public speaking. Book your personalized tour. Crawford International, building global leaders.
This is what value sounds like. It's only natural to crave real flavor. That's why Burger King brings you the stacked King value meals. 3 bigger flame-grilled beef or chicken burgers, each served with fries and a drink of your choice. Big on size, big on flavor, big on value. Get it for just $59.90 on the BK app. Burger King, flame-grilled perfection.
Get your mojo back with 25% off everything at MojoBeds. And this month of Live Shop in-store at MojoBeds for 5,999 or more and get a 500 Rand voucher to redeem at American, Swiss or Stearns. Plus, get up to 24 months to pay with your TFG money account. Shop beds for all budgets at 25% off. Find your best sleep at MojoBeds. Good night. Offer excludes bakes sold separately. NCRCP 36 T's and C's apply. Visit us in the Park Meadow Center opposite Eastgate Mall.
Traditionally, Christmas should only end in January. That's why Pick n Pay Newmarket and Pick n Pay Melbourne are celebrating with one last festive hurrah. Sunfoil oil 2 litres at $59.99, Everfresh milk 6 by 1 litre for $79.99, 7 kgs of potatoes and 7 kgs of onions get both for $79.99, and chicken fillets for only $59.99 per kg. Because this January we're sending processed south, but sorry, 28 Jan to 1 Feb only, because that's our gift to you.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
He's here to unpack the controversies, the criticisms, the pressure from world football, and what CAF is doing, though, to protect, to grow, and elevate Africa's football's biggest stage. Like September?
Good to be here. I tell you what, when I arrived here, they put me in a room and I thought this is like the waiting room of the entire building, right? And they told me it's just your waiting room, and I thought to myself, my goodness me, I haven't worked hard enough in life, Robert. Good to have you here, man. It's the first time I come to these fancy studios of yours, man. You've come a long way. You've come a long way, Robert Marawa. You've come a long way. Eh?
Hey, are you sponsored by Robertson Spice? Are you massaging us, marinating us here? What's going on?
I can never win with you.
Welcome to the good life. Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to Pram Togo. Quick one. Do you think Pram Togo Usiandan Rovu will move away from Golden Arrows because he's an exciting player, which I believe can add much value to one of the big teams in Gauteng?
They don't call Sekhofa Mabaso the sniper for nothing. I'm also begging that gentleman, no. Sekhofa Mabaso is a good striker, man. Paris made a big mistake. Seconded.
Hi, Robbie. Temba here at Inaril. I'd like to find out, Robbie, my man, please. Why does it Pirates not playing, my brother? Eh? Why? Because I understand of Chiefs and Sundowns. They have to go for Confed and the CAF Champions League. And so what about Pirates? They've got 2 games in hand. Why can't they use those 2 games? Why don't Pirates play? I don't understand it, guys. Please assist me.
If it matters in sport, it lands here first.
This matter will not be swept under the carpet.
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
It's in their hands. It's for them to lose it.
Hashtag MSW on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live.
Well, I've always just maintained that the teams should not be too far apart in terms of games played. I think we saw that big gap happen last year where Pirates fell far behind from what Sundowns were doing. Answering it with authority, I don't know. I would not want to speak on behalf of the league. But I do know that Pirates, though, will be playing on the 31st of January. They do have a fixture against Makesi, and that's going to be followed up on the 2nd of Feb against Amazulu away. Whether, obviously Sundowns will probably play in between that. So it doesn't really bring them level, which I think all leagues should always try and strive towards. I think it's only fair. Whatever, whether it's relegation, fight for top 8, or just for the league title itself. All right, the next 10 minutes, I just thought it's important to bring this forward because we touched on it slightly yesterday when Lux September was here in studio. And he said himself that he doesn't know because, the legal eagles are locked behind closed doors and they're dealing with this matter. And that's why, African football kind of stands on the edge of history simply because of a judgment that is pending. And all the echoes of that chaos that happened in Rabat is still ringing across the continent. I mean, a final that was meant to crown champions is now threatening to rewrite AFCON legacy. I'm talking about the walk-off, the late penalty. I mean, 14 minutes that shook African football to its core. Morocco, Senegal, and a CAF disciplinary verdict that could be dropped, yes, as early as tomorrow. That's what we're being told. So the question is, was it a protest? Was it just passion? Or was it misconduct that kind of crossed the line? So CAF has met behind closed doors, as I understand, not once but twice on Monday and once again yesterday. And now the lawyers are kind of sharpening the final words. I believe that a decision has been made. It's just a case of how do we word it. That could literally change everything. I mean, even the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, he called the scenes unacceptable. So what really happened in that room? What punishment could follow? And what does it mean for AFCON's credibility going forward? And that is why joining us is a man who has covered African football battles, boardrooms, breaking moments for decades. I'm chatting about a veteran sports journalist, one of the continent's most trusted voices. And in fact, let me add, the longest serving sports editor for Sunday Mail. Let's head off. Let's go worldwide to Harare and welcome Goodwill Zunitsa. Goodwill, good evening and welcome to the show. All right, let's try again. Goodwill, I'm sure you can hear me. I can see you moving there in the background. Good evening and welcome to the show, Goodwill. I think if you can hear me, maybe just unmute yourself, then that audio should pop through. All right, well, we rectified that with Goodwill. We will certainly get him on, that's for sure. I think it's an important story. He's broken that earlier today. And we thought, let's get South Africans to hear this and the whole entire continent and the world.
Hey, it's Rob and all 947 listeners. Very good evening. Well, I'm a Stelli's supporter, and I'm so happy that there are some changes, which are actually initiated by Gavin Hunt, and with the new players that he brought in, especially Tsegofatso Mabasa, is that key player that we expect him to go and bang those goals so that we can move away from the relegation zone, at least finish in the top 8. That would be a great result for us. That's Andile from Snackspread in the Eastern Cape near Sutuporas.
All right, good to have a Stelly supporter finally breaking their way through here on MSW.
Good evening, Robert, to you and your listeners. Look, I don't think that Stellenbosch are necessarily looking to sell their club. I just think that could be a result of the decisions that the club has made. If you look at all the Western Cape teams, well, most of them, in particular, Ajax Cape Town, if you look at Cape Town City and now Stellenbosch, it seems like they all sing from the same hymn book. They do very well in the league, and then all of a sudden they sell all of their best players, and then the inevitable happens. They are down in the relegation zones, and then that could be maybe the cause for them to be up for sale. But to think that maybe they'll just want to sell Stellenbosch, I don't think that's necessarily the case.
Yeah, I agree with that last sentence of yours, that I don't think that they would want to sell. What is the point? What is the point? They've invested so much, and they, as far as the academy is concerned, when you look at the high performance center that is there, the whole structure in Stellies is such that it's a long-term project. The stadium, yes, that stadium with the name that I will never mention on radio or anywhere. There shouldn't be a stadium with that name. But yeah, that's Stellenbosch for you. They've got a plan, it's in place, and it should be working, and it will be working. Are they entitled to having a blip like they've had this season? I think, yeah, of course. They've sold way more than they've brought in. And it's a lot to ask of the youngsters to immediately replace some of the great talent that has gone the other way. So how do they shape up? They bring in somebody, a wily coach, somebody with the experience of a Gavin Hunt. And he's been put in those positions many a time. I mean, the rescue mission that he had in moving at SuperSport, when he moved to SuperSport, giving them back-to-back league titles from an almost hopeless situation. He's been able to do that. He's been able to do that when a Black Leopards was struggling, was rock bottom. He was able to put them in the top 8. The one and only time that they were in the top 8 was under Gavin. And even reflect back on a Morocco Swallows, when it was still called Morocco Swallows, before it became Swallows FC and before it became nothing. That was the truth. That's exactly what it is. He was there. He gave them the Absa Cup. So if you remember, not the Absa Premiership, there was another cup called the Absa Cup. Gavin was in the forefront of doing that. And he translates now to what he's going to be able to do at Stellenbosch. Who knows? But there's an understanding that he is able to resuscitate that is now dead and buried, or perceived to be dead and buried. So I think it's an exciting project for him. It's an exciting project for the people of Cape Town. We see the demise of these Cape Town teams like it's nobody's business. Where's Santos now? Your Ajaxes, Cape Town Spurs. Now it's Cape Town City. They still believe that they can claw their way back. I'm sure they can. They've got the resources. They've got a man like John Comites who's there, who's as experienced as anybody else. Right, I thought as we just trying to sort things out, good old can't hear us. Just the funny thing is that we can't hear him in return. So we're going to try and get him to do a quick voice note to send to us, because I think it's important news. It's an important journey within African football, that if this potentially drops tomorrow, what is it likely to be? So Kaizer Chiefs, it is official. You play Marumo Gallants tonight, but more than anything else, your player Aidan McCarthy has said that inside the camp at Nigerina, the word is out that Chiefs are going for the league title.
Going to Bloom, playing against Marumo Gallants, we know that we're up against quality players and a team that brings anything on the day. So it's quite unexpected. We can only plan so much, but with what we have here, the team, the players, the individuals, we're just going to go out there guns blazing and do the job. Playing back-to-back games, traveling included, no time for training sessions. It's a lot to deal with, but it's more a mental thing. You need to manage yourself and be honest to yourself and everyone around you to better the team's performance at the end of the day. Yeah, no, the race is on. We won that. We won the league title. And it's very possible, so we just need to work hard and work towards that as our main goal.
But I love that from a player. I love that from anybody who finds themselves in a position where it is possible. So it's no longer just a pipe dream for Kaizer Chiefs. Never mind how they started the season. It's all about where they are right now and where potentially they will be if they get the 3 points tonight against Marumo Gallants. If you look at the log standings, it says by the end of tonight, Kaizer Chiefs could be second with 30 points. 2 points shy of where Mamelodi Sundowns are. Isn't that a good place? Isn't that a big turnaround for Kaizer Chiefs? So maybe there's a time to start believing, Makosi. All right, one way or the other, we'll try get Goodwill. Even if it's tomorrow, we'll get him to send a voice note. Otherwise, catch us tomorrow. I don't know from where. It might not be from Johannesburg, but it is Marawa Sports Worldwide. Proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Play the game again. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.